All right, moving on to the next topic here. We're going to talk about the greatest television show characters of all time. I have my list. I'll go ahead and get these out of the way first. I've got Omar Little from The Wire, Bill Haverchuck from Freaks and Geeks, and Al Swearingen from Deadwood. Are any of yours those three, or do you have others that are some of the...
No, they're not those three.
Acted, written, just characters that truly became iconic on television.
Okay, so if we're talking about iconic, I truly do think that I can beach that. If we're talking about the most iconic, I was thinking about it at length last night, and I got lucky because I just started rewatching the show that I'm going to refer to. But the first choice that I had was Walter White from Breaking Bad. That character, I haven't seen The Wire, so I can't comment if it's better than any of that sort of stuff. But that character is just perfect. The way that he arcs from pure fair innocence, like he would never hurt someone, and being just weak, to the exact opposite of malicious and dominating is just fucking epic.
The two scenes with him, there's the one where the guy's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "You know who I am.
Yeah.
Say my name." And the guy's like, "Heisenberg, you're damn right."
Yeah.
Or the one where he's talking to Skyler, and he's like, "You're worried about me?
I am the one who knocks."
You're worried? Yeah, I'm the one who knocks. And it's like, oh.
It's funny. I haven't seen it for...
You know how many comments I get on my social medias when I'm doing something on a short, and people are like, "Holy shit, Walter White's doing social media."
Yeah. It's not wrong.
All I need is, God, what kind of hat did he wear?
Yeah, that little...
I used to know
what was that called?
God damn it. Here, give me your other one. I'm going to look it up right now. And the glasses.
I think if you think about iconic and characters that absolutely defined a generation and defined television at that time, it has to be Kramer. It has to be Kramer. There is not a single person in any country, and it was actually documented that Michael Richards became so overwhelmed towards the end of filming the series, he couldn't go anywhere, that he went for the break one year. He went to Africa, went on a tribe, went off into the middle of nowhere, and he actually was they got ambushed by these villagers that were like, "What are you doing out here in the wilderness?" With no one. He had a tour guide, and they were out in the middle of nowhere in Africa or something. And they freaked out, and they started talking in tongues, whatever their language was, and then said, "Kramer, lalagum, da-da-dum, ba-da-da, whatever, Kramer." And he went, and they found the one hut that had one electrical cable and one fucking satellite, and they ran Seinfeld in French. They were able to steal French cable TV from somewhere, and they knew Seinfeld. So in the middle of nowhere, where they didn't have any Western culture, barely had electricity, but they knew Kramer, and they loved Kramer. And that's like, there's no one that doesn't know Kramer. And usually that doesn't love Kramer before the incident.
Well, see, okay, so I'm not necessarily going iconic in the sense of, because I loved Michael Richards as Kramer, the way that he defined that character, the way that he defined that role. Have you ever seen the outtakes from Seinfeld? When he would get pissed at Julia Louis-Dreyfus because she would break constantly, like she was like her nickname was like the Queen of Laugh or something like that, because she would constantly start losing it. And there's one scene where he's pretending to be married to her, and he pulls a ring out, and there's a piece of lint on the ring, and it's so comedically perfect, but she loses it, and he's like, "I can't recreate that. Like, you just fucked that up. Like, how could you do that?" So I get it, but I'm telling you, if you've ever seen, and you can watch just the first season of The Wire. I mean, the whole series is great, but season 1 of The Wire might be one of the greatest seasons of television of all time. It is just so brilliantly done, and Omar Little, who was portrayed by Michael K. Williams, I just did a short on him, because we were on the anniversary of the day he passed away. He passed away about a year ago, and he was the one that had the scar that came from his forehead down to his cheek, and he got that in a fight. And the positive side of that was it really led to his career, because he was trying to get roles, and he was booking roles as a backup dancer in music videos. Now all of a sudden he has this scar. It kind of gives him a grittier, more hardened look. And now he's booking roles in major projects, where Tupac hand selected him for his role in Bullitt because of how, like, just the way he was. And he was Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire. And the joke that I did in the short was that his greatest role of all time was Dr. Marshall Kane on Community, where he plays a biology teacher for like two or three episodes.
I don't know that one. I'm sorry.
I know, and I don't think a lot of people do. But that was the joke. And at the end, I'm like, yeah, like I'm joking. Like he was Omar Little and Chalky White, for crying out loud.
Right.
But I mean, so like that was one of the main ones. Bill Haverchuck for Freaks and Geeks. He's played by Martin Starr. If you've never seen Freaks and Geeks, it's just one season. It's brilliantly done, and it's where a lot of the people we know now got their start. Seth Rogen was in it. Linda Cardellini was in it as well.
Jason Segel was in it.
Yeah. James Franco was in it. So I highly recommend checking that out. But he was just so brilliant in that role as Bill Haverchuck, because he was one of the geeks, like with the big old thick glasses. There's one scene, if I just need a good chuckle, it's where him and his two friends, they're in the kitchen and they have all of the crap from the cupboards in the fridge on the kitchen table. And he's like, for $5, you can make a drink and I will drink it. And they're like, anything we put in there. He goes, yeah, anything. He's like, it can't be toxic. It can't be soap or detergent or anything like that, but anything you put in there. So they put a mask on him and they just start throwing things in a blender and they get him to drink it. And it's just it's so funny, man. And I would love to meet Martin Starr. That guy's a brilliant actor. And then the last one here was just Al Swearingen on Deadwood. If you've ever seen Deadwood, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So
see, this is my problem. I haven't seen all three of those shows, so I can't comment. They probably are better than mine. I just remember when I was thinking about Kramer, that everyone knows Kramer. There isn't a person that's like, for example, I just said I haven't seen those shows. I don't know if I could ever find someone that's like, no, I don't. I grew up in the 90s and I don't know who that is.
It's interesting. I was just thinking too, because I found some lists that had sort of the greatest TV characters of all time on it, and like Peggy Olson from Mad Men made the list, and Elizabeth Jennings from The Americans made the list. And I was starting to think about it. I'm like, I didn't have a female on my list, but the second I thought about that, one popped into my head, and it's Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development, played by Jessica Walter. Oh my God. She was so effing good, man. She was so brilliant in that show. It was amazing.